What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to today's Anfield Agenda News Roundup. I'm going to be taking you through the latest stories surrounding our football club, asking you guys, as always, to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do drop a like on the video and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so. Bit of shameless self-promotion, folks, but we have relaunched our Clips channel, so do search Anfield Agenda Clips if you want to see some fun moments, because we are jazzing them up a little bit. We're adding in some extra graphics and pop-ups and stuff just to make them a bit funnier. So do check it out if you're into your shorter form content. You can find it by either just searching Anfield Agenda Clips or having a look at the link in the description. So look, the big story I guess for today is TODIBO from Nice. And lots of rumours that Liverpool are going to try and lean on his very friendly and very good relationship with our own French centre-back, Ibrahim Kanade, to try and move for him in the summer. Now, of course, when you talk about TODIBO and you talk about Nice and a move to Liverpool, you have to mention the Jim Ratcliffe point, right? Because he owns Nice and now he owns 25% of Manchester United. And TODIBO has been strongly linked with a move to Manchester United. So it's not going to be impossible, but I think it's going to take a very clear signalling from TODIBO to the footballing world and to Nice, of course, that Liverpool would be the club he'd want to move to. The numbers that have been mentioned for this are pretty reasonable numbers, in €60 million, about £51 million. But the United fans that I've spoken to and the United friends of mine I've spoken to certainly believe that this was, I don't want to say a formality that he goes to United, but certainly very, very, very likely that he's earmarked to go to Manchester United. And you can see why with that Jim Ratcliffe connection as well. But lots of stuff today coming out of Nice that said that Liverpool and the project to play under Jurgen Klopp, to obviously play at a club who are going in the right direction, currently sitting top of the Premier League table, is appealing to him. And again, you can totally see why. I would crawl over broken glass if I was a footballer to come and play for Jurgen Klopp. And then we've got the idea of the friendship with Ibrahim Kanade. But in all of this and all these conversations, I keep seeing this talk of a potential long-term French partnership at centre-back between Ibu and TODIBO, and that's great. But we can't forget about Jarell Kwanzaa. We can't forget about our own youngster who's just coming through as well. But look, that would be a great collection of centre-backs to the future. If you had TODIBO, if you had Kanade, if you had Kwanzaa, and then I guess at that point you'd have an experienced Joe Gomez. So that might be all right, you know. But I just want to get your thoughts on it. How likely do you think this is? Do you think it's doable that Liverpool can get a player who is at a club owned by somebody who owns a big stake in United? It would be a big PR own goal for Jim Ratcliffe if TODIBO found his way to Anfield instead of, heading over to Old Trafford. Now, we're a better option for the kid from a footballing perspective, no doubt about that. And look, Agent Ibu, as I said, he could be the one doing the groundwork on this one. So interested to know your thoughts on that below. A little bit from the Leipzig sporting director on Fabio Carvalho, which is quite interesting. So he spoke about the fact that they consciously went and looked to bring in Fabio Carvalho when they knew he would be able to be approached to Liverpool to take him on loan. But the part of the interview, or the part of the quote that stood out to me in this, was that he basically said that Fabio Carvalho wasn't willing to put in the hard yards to fight for a place. He said I'm paraphrasing here, some players come to football clubs and they see the challenge for positions and they relish it and they get stuck in on the training ground and they force their way into the manager's thinking. He seems to say that Carvalho wasn't really willing to do that. Now, what happens with that in the longer term, I don't know, but he has 6 months now, or the rest of the season at Hull. And you'd hope that over the course of this 6 months that he's going to prove that he's willing to fight for that place, like Tyler Morton did when he went in there. And I hope he has a good end to the season. But if he doesn't, the question that keeps being asked of me is, what do you think he's worth? What would Liverpool get if they look to sell him in the summer? And I think for me, £25 million plus add-ons, maybe bring it up towards 30 would be a reasonable number for Fabio Carvalho. I'm not sure about you guys. So a bit of an update, by the way, on Andre Trinidad. So his camp are seemingly getting a little bit worried that their player might not have any options in this window to make a move. So lots of talk that they regret turning down the approach from Liverpool in the summer window because they thought that Liverpool or many other clubs would be coming back in for him. As you know, he went and won the Copa Libertadores, went and played in the Club World Cup. They finished runners-up to Manchester City. And then they expected the offers to come in. So there was lots of talk about Fulham, but seemingly Fulham don't have the wiggle room financially at the minute because Palhinha's looking likely to stay as he is for the time being. And no other offers have come in. This is a very weird one because I would have probably assumed, like they did, that clubs would come and knocking. But nobody, as of yet, have been knocking on their door. And is it a big mistake he didn't take that move to Liverpool, or will he get a move eventually? My own feeling is I think he'll end up somewhere like Serie A, perhaps, and to settle into Europe that way. But it is a strange situation and one certainly worth keeping an eye on. So another bit of news today is Paul Ince has been speaking, and he believes that Jurgen Klopp should look to bring in a replacement for Mohamed Salah this month. Now, his rationale is, I guess, that you got to have a plan A, B, and C for this situation, and that Liverpool will kind of get a taste of what life is like without Mohamed Salah while he's away at the AFCON. But I agree and I disagree to some extent. I get where Paul Ince is coming from, but I don't think you can really make any plans until you know definitively what's going to happen with Mohamed Salah's future. Is he looking for an extension? I'm sure the club will know that much, but I don't know. Until we know what's happening there, I don't know how you can plan. One thing I would say is, regardless of what happens with Mo, I'd like to think and I hope that maybe we're keeping a very strong eye on Elise because, very fond of him as a player. And at 60 million quid next summer, if he's available, I'd certainly be at the table for him. I think he's a wonderful footballer. A little bit more to talk about today, my friends, with regards to... Where am I going with this last part again? I had one more... Oh, yes. Sorry, bear with me. I had one more thing I wanted to go through. Mbappe. And not the way you think I'm going to be talking about Mbappe. I'm not going to be sitting here trying to convince you again that he's coming. I'll be doing that at 8:30 tonight in the live show. But there was an article that's kind of been briefed out ahead of an interview that his mother did with an outlet over in France. And basically the interview just shows another side of Mbappe and his family that maybe we don't see. So often at times when we have the conversation about Mbappe and his future, wherever that might be, we get the whole... He's a headache, he's a distraction, he's a diva, all this stuff. But then you see the other human side of it, the 30% of the revenue that he gives away to a foundation to help kids aged between, I think it was 13 and 21, to achieve their dreams and to have moments in the sporting world and to be prepared to go out into the world. And this is a beautiful thing. And these are the things I love to read and hear about. Have a look for it yourself. You'll find the interview easily enough. His mother said to him that if they were going to do this, they had to do it right. Initially, she said she wanted them to give 50% away, but they settled on 30%, and that it gives millions and millions of quid every year to these foundation, or to that foundation, to help kids chase their dream. And I don't know about you guys, but that doesn't sound like a diva to me. That doesn't sound like a heartless, soulless egomaniac. That sounds like a young man who has his head screwed on, who has a good business attitude, and has a good mother and family behind him who are looking to push him in the right direction. But I'm really interested to know your thoughts on it. So that is our video today, my friends. I'll be back tonight at 8:30. Hope you can join me then. Don't forget, let us know your thoughts on the stories we spoke about. One more quick thing before we finish up, Anthony. See, I'm getting ahead of myself, actually, but it is about Anthony. Anthony Robinson on Instagram liked a post from somebody saying, please come to Liverpool. Now, I don't for 1 minute think that means anything, but it's nice to see that, one, Liverpool fans recognise a decent player when they see one, and also that he's aware of the interest in certain Liverpool fans from coming to Liverpool. I don't think it's going to happen because he's 26 years of age and we have two left-sided players, but it is nice to see that Liverpool fans spot a good player and know a good player when they spot one. So look, I'll see you guys at 8:30, as I said. Don't forget, drop a like, let us know your thoughts on everything we spoke about. Check out the Clips channel, and I will see you at 8:30. Much love. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.